Well, what's up, everybody? Happy Wednesday to you if you're watching this live. Happy whatever to you if you end up watching the replay. I'm glad that you're watching today. Welcome to Wisdom University. I'm Dharius Daniels, and I'm excited about this time we're going to spend together because I believe you're about to receive more wisdom for more life. Woo! More wisdom for more life. Listen to this. I shared this earlier. I'm going to say it one more time. If you've never made a note of this, make a written note, a typed note, or a mental note. Get ready. Here it is. Wisdom gets you the life you love. You don't get the life you love because you love life. You get the life you love because you love wisdom. And so I'm excited about the opportunity just to share with you. Listen, we are going to pivot from the path that we've been taking in the book of Proverbs. So if you've been following along the entirety of this series on Wisdom University, we've been doing what's called expository teaching. We've been going verse by verse through the book of Proverbs. Okay. Well, at the rate we're going, it's going to be 2039 before we are finished. And Proverbs has so much wisdom to offer us in so many different areas of our life. I said, I'm going to take these next few weeks and jump around a bit and see how the book of Proverbs can add value to our life and give us wisdom. Look at me, wisdom, so that we make better decisions and have fewer regrets. Somebody put yes in that chat if you want that. Yes, yes, yes. And so in our time together tonight, what I want to do is I want to talk to you about life skills. We're going to be looking at the book of Proverbs, chapter 30, and I'm going to be using verses 24 through 28 to teach you about life skills. Life skills. Now, listen, you know the deal. If you haven't pressed that like button, I'm going to encourage you to do that. Not because that makes me feel like you like me. I'm asking you to press the like button because when you do that, you aren't necessarily helping me and you aren't necessarily helping you, but you are helping other people. Because the more likes we get, the more YouTube begins to push this up in the algorithm and teachings like this start appearing in people's feed. And we believe it can add value to them. Many of you watch because my teaching just kept coming up in your feed, and you can help other people experience that just by pressing the like button. So I'm going to ask you to do that. And if you aren't subscribed to this channel, I'm going to ask you to do that as well. Because when you subscribe, you get notifications every single time we place content on this calendar, on this channel. And as we move into 2022, we've been planning the calendar. We want to be adding value to your life and this platform every single day. Every single day I exist, I want to add value to people. That's why I was born, man. And I like to stay connected with people. Shout out to my text tribe. The numbers coming on the screen right now. Just a group of people that are a part of a tribe we're forming through text. Some people don't do email, don't do social media. They like text. And so there are times in my devotional time where I get thoughts. I send it to them. And I also do this for my text tribe. Every now and then when I have coaching calls with my mentoring and coaching group called Daniels Den, which I'm getting ready to open back up. But every time that we have calls with them, not every time, but sometimes I let people who might not even be in Daniels Den, but they're part of my text tribe, I let them get on a coaching call. So anyway, I want you to keep all of that in mind. I hope you're ready for our teaching today, life skills. And we're going to be looking at Proverbs chapter 30, verse number 24. Hear the words of Jesus recorded by John. John says that Jesus said, "The thief comes to steal, kill, and destroy, but I've come that you might have life and have it more abundantly." Somebody put life in that chat. Come on, put life in that chat. I've come that you might have life. Now, when Jesus uses the word, "I've come that you might have life," right? Uses the phrase, "I've come that you might have life." He's using this phrase talking to people who are already existing. They aren't dead and they aren't dying. So when he uses the word life, he's not just talking about life physically. He's not just talking about the quantity of time that they have in this life. That's not what he's talking about. He's talking about, listen to this, the quality of their time that they have in this life. So what Jesus is saying is, I've come to give you a life that you could not experience without me. I've come to give you life as your creator intended. Are you following me here? You see, listen to me now. Listen to me. The scripture says it is he, God, it is he who has made us and not we ourselves, right? So God has created us. And because God is our creator, as is the case with every creator, the creator knows how to get the best out of what he or she created. I'm going to say that one more time. The creator of a thing always knows what's best for that thing. The creator of a thing knows, listen to me, how to get the most out of the thing. Now, watch this. I'm wearing a shirt, and hopefully you're wearing a shirt too, but in the back of your shirt, there's a tag. You know what that tag represents? That tag represents manufacturer's instructions. The creator of the garment understands how to get the best out of the garment. The creator of the garment understands how the garment needs to be managed in order to reach its potential, in order to experience protection, and in order to experience preservation. If the garment's going to be preserved, last long. If the garment's going to be protected, not exposed to unnecessary encumbrances, and if the garment is going to reach its potential, then the owner of the garment needs to know how to follow the manufacturer's instructions. And as it is for our clothes, so it is for our souls. I hope you're following me. If we're going to be preserved, if we're going to be protected, if we're going to reach our potential, and I believe I'm talking to some people who are watching this, who are passionate about your potential. Don't get me started on this. I might have to do a completely different teaching on this, because this is what I believe, family. You can't be serious about purpose if you aren't serious about reaching your potential. Come on, because potential is your capacity for your calling. Somebody put some fire in this chat if you've been blessed and encouraged already. Yeah, potential is capacity for your calling. It's a latent, dormant, unused, untapped ability, right? But the potential that you have is for the purpose you've been created for. And if a person is going to actually fulfill their purpose, it requires them maximizing their potential. Somebody catch this now. Put this in this chat. God gave you and I nothing he intended for us to waste. Somebody put this in the chat. I will waste nothing. I will waste nothing. Everything God's got for me, everything he wants to do in me, everything he wants to do through me, the gifts he's given me, the ability he's given me, the acquired skill he's given me, I will waste nothing. And so a person that's serious about purpose has to be serious about potential. But if you're serious about potential, serious about protection, serious about preservation, it means you're serious about following the manufacturer's instructions. And if we want to live life the way our Creator intended and experience the quality of life, come on, that he intends and deeply desires for us to experience. What does that mean? It means, family, that you and I need to walk in and live with wisdom. We need, watch this, we need specific skills for this specific life. Come on. Somebody put that waving emoji and wave at your boy. I said we need specific skills for this specific life. So if we're going to live this kind of life, the life where I'm preserved, the life where I'm protected, the life where I reach my potential, the Zoe life, the life that our Creator, God, intends for you and I to live, this life that Jesus purchased for us and wills and bequeaths to us, that life requires skill. We need skills for that life. Watch this. And many people have developed life skills when it comes to culture, but they don't understand the importance of life skills when it comes to the kingdom. What's that? Living the king's way. Living as your creator intended requires a different set of skills. So let's say in culture, people regularly and frequently, watch this, take to get. Come on. They take to get. They exploit. They deceive. They manipulate. They engage in predatory practices. Not all, but some. In culture, people often take to give. In the kingdom, they take to get. In the kingdom, we give to get. See that? It's a different skill. It's a different skill. In culture, there are practices and tendencies to get even. Come on. We're all tempted with that from time to time. Not so in the kingdom. See, in culture, people try to get even by doing something bad to others. In the kingdom, we get even by allowing God to do something good for us. Look at me. The best way to repay your enemies is not to do to them what they did to you. The best way to repay your enemies, look at me, is to succeed in spite of what they did to you. These are life skills. And here in Proverbs 30, family, Solomon gives us a powerful picture. Listen to me. A powerful picture of a few life skills we need to to understand and ultimately implement in our lives. You have a wise man who's a king. He has influence, he has affluence, he has education. And he says to us, he says, I want to teach you some things. He says, watch this. He says, I want you to learn some life skills from some little things. Watch this. He says, I'm going to give you some education through some insects and animals. See, don't listen. God can use anything to teach you something. God can use anything to teach you something. God can use anything to teach you something. And here in Proverbs, this book of wisdom, look at this. God uses insects and animals to educate us. Watch, look at verse 24. 4 things on the earth are small, yet they are extremely wise. 4 things on the earth are small, yet they are extremely wise. Little things. Now, let's look at the first one he mentions. Verse 25. I got the big boy Bible. Come on. Here it is. Verse 25 says, ants are creatures of little strength, yet they store up their food in the summer. All right. Are you ready for some life lessons, some life skills from little things? So Solomon mentions the ant. Okay, here it is now. What does he say? He said the ants have little strength, yet they store up their food in the summer. What does it mean? It means this. Here, if you and I, oh my, y'all better get this. Y'all better get this. If you and I are going to live life as our Creator intended, reaching our potential, being protected, experiencing preservation, then one of the things that we're going to have to do is we are going to have to learn from the ants. Learn what, Dr. D? Learn how to leverage what you do have as opposed to looking at what you don't. I'm going to say that one more time. It is a kingdom life skill to leverage what you do have instead of obsessively and compulsively looking at what we don't have. It says they have little strength. So the ant isn't spending its time, I'm getting ready to go somewhere here. An ant isn't spending its time comparing itself to an elephant. An ant doesn't have the strength of an elephant, but the ant couldn't leverage its strength if it was frequently and consistently comparing itself to something that's doing what the ant isn't created to do. See, this is, come on now. This is the illogical nature of comparison. Comparison makes no sense because the elephant is built to do something the ant isn't supposed to do. And sometimes we're comparing ourselves. We're so busy looking at what the elephant has, what someone else has that we don't have, that we're not properly leveraging what we do have. Come on here. And I am telling you, God has not withheld from you anything you needed to do what he's called you to do. I'm going to say that one more time. God has not withheld from you anything that you need to do what he's called you to do. He has no good thing will he withhold from them that walk upright before him. He is not withholding anything that you need. And could it be that we are so busy looking at what we do not have that we're not properly leveraging what we do have? I don't have the degree, but you have discipline. I don't have the green, but you've got grit. Woo! I don't have the connections, but you've got a calling. And if you'll leverage what you do have instead of looking at what you don't have, you can experience what God has intended and created for you to experience. I just pray that God sets us free from these tendencies to compare, because you're comparing people without comparing callings. An ant has a little strength, but instead of looking at what it doesn't have, it leverages what it does have. Y'all following me here? And you look at ants, man, ants are so wise. What's the text say? Text says they store up their food in the summer. So ants have the ability to discern seasons. They can sense when it's summer. But they're wise enough to recognize that it won't be summer always. And because they recognize that it won't be summer always, they don't, watch this, they don't waste their summer seasons. They steward their summer seasons properly because they know winter is coming. And when we understand seasons, look at me, we avoid wasting the summers of our lives. I'm not just talking about, I'm not just talking about, when I say summer, I don't mean summer season literally. Now, we could talk about that, but I'm not talking about that. I'm using summer as a metaphor where things are pleasant, where there's provision, where there's pleasure. Seasons where things seem to be going well and going right. Am I stewarding that season properly so that I've got something stored up in the winter. Ants discern seasons. Boy, I could just talk about these ants all day. They know how to discern seasons. You know what ants also know how to do? They know how to deal with dirt. Ants mastered the ability of constructively using dirt. Yes, in Mississippi, we used to have something called fire ants. And these fire ants would have what we call ant beds. And they are mounds of dirt that ants would create to utilize as a home. And I'm telling you, if we are going to live life as our Creator intended, if we're going to live that John 10:10 life, if we're going to experience reaching our potential, experiencing protection and some preservation, look at me. We better learn how to deal with the dirt, how to use the dirt constructively. Come on, come on. Yeah, see, it's one thing to fail, but it's another thing to make the consequences of my failure worse by mismanaging it. Ants know how to take dirt and manage it constructively. They learn how to take their misery and turn it into a ministry. Did you hear what I just said? They know how to take their pain and use it for their purpose. They know how to take the lessons they learn from falling down and use those lessons to help other people come up. And I want to know, I feel like this is getting a little preachy here, but I feel the push and that unction. I want to know, am I talking to anybody that's watching this, that's made up your mind? I will not let my dirt define me, but I will allow my dirt to build me into another version of me that can walk into my destiny. If I'm teaching, put some fire in that chat. They know how to discern seasons. They know how to deal with dirt. But that's not the only animal Solomon talks about. He says ants are creatures with low strength. Says number one, look at what you, don't look at what you, leverage what you do have instead of looking at what you don't have. It's a life skill. All right. Here's this next one. One translation calls this rock badgers. Are creatures, watch this, of little power, yet they make their homes in the crags. All right, listen to this. Rock badgers. Now, some people have suggested that this is an animal that's a part of the rabbit family. Now they're feeble, yet they make their homes in crags. Now this is what it means, because see, there are different types of rabbits, but I want you to catch this. But none of them attempt to fight like lions. They don't attempt to do what a lion does because they understand they are made uniquely. Watch this. Y'all, I'm trying not to run here. A rabbit's strength is its ears. They don't have long claws or long teeth, but they have extremely long ears, and they are very agile. Here's life skill number 2. If we're going to experience life the King's way, we must develop the skill. We must learn how to listen and leap. See, watch this. Watch this. These rabbits' unique ability to hear, don't miss this, allows them to hear things other animals may miss. It's hard to sneak up on a rabbit. Are y'all following me? And watch this. God's given us all that ability through the presence and the person of the Holy Spirit, which empowers us to discern, to sense things that others might miss. And watch this ability to listen and to hear should cause us to be agile, to know the right time to leap. See, some people leap wrong because they heard wrong. They leaped out of the job because they didn't listen well. They leaped wrong into marriage because they didn't listen well. They leap wrong out of the right church because they didn't listen well, or they leaped into the wrong church because they didn't listen well. And if you and I are going to experience life as God intended, we've got to have spiritual rabbit-like ears so that we can sense things that we can't see, so that we can anticipate some things that are not apparent. Let me give you an example. Right in the middle of the pandemic, not in the middle, in the beginning of the pandemic, I told our team, I said, this is changing everything. We need to be prepared like never before to go into the digital mission field. The first footprint we put in the ATL was not a building. We have one under contract now, but not a building. It was a studio. Sense. Come on. So there are some things we can anticipate. We can leap right when we listen well. Are y'all tired of this? Are you getting something out of this? Tell me in the chat. Put if you're getting something out of this, tell me. Here it is. Solomon doesn't stop there. Verse 27. He says, locusts have no king, yet they advance together in rank. I don't know if you've ever seen locusts fly, but they fly in amazing order. And unfortunately, they have been known to devastate tons of crops. But there's a lesson with the locusts. Here it is, life skill number 3. We have to learn to love our lane. See, these locusts understand the power of partnership. They understand that the power of all of us is greater than the power of any one of us. The biblical principle, 1 can chase 1,000, but 2 can put 10,000 to flight. It's not addition, it's multiplication. The impact is exponentially increased when we partner with the right people. So a locust learns to love their lane because they realize and recognize, even if I have some lanes, I'm not called to run in every lane. Here's the way my friend Judd Wilhite puts it, Pastor Judd Wilhite puts it. Pastor says, love the calling you have, not the one you wish you had. How many people are not living in a way that is consistent with God's best because they have not learned to love their lane? I hope y'all are ready for this. And I'm actually going to be releasing a course in 2022 called Living on Purpose. And the reason I got to put it in course form is because that is the question I've gotten, not the questions I've gotten the most unequivocally during my entire time, not only in pastoring, but as an entrepreneur and a coach, are all directly, or many of them are directly or indirectly tied back to this subject of purpose. And I'm going to tell you something. Clarity on this subject of purpose, look at me, is everything. Because when you are clear on what you do, you are also clear on what you don't do. You understand your lane. And when people try to push you in a lane, because some people will observe your ability and then assign you to a lane that God hadn't called you to use that ability for. Come on now, right? Everybody that Jesus could heal, he didn't heal. Why? Because just because you have ability doesn't mean you're assigned to use that ability the way other people think you should use it. There are people who used to tell me things all the time. You could be doing this, or you should be doing that. Rarely to them, but mostly to myself. I'll say, that's not the way God has assigned me to use my ability. It's a lane. I'm in front of this camera teaching to you tonight, or whenever you choose to watch this, because this is my lane. And locusts understand that. They couldn't do what they do if they were all in each other's lane. Come on, y'all. Am I making sense here? Man, I can't wait to release create and release that course on purpose. I'm telling you right now. And God does not want us, I might do a series on that, release a course on it. God does not want us confused about that. And if you are not clear, I don't want you to feel bad. I don't want you to feel that you're inferior or you're immature. You probably just have never been walked through a biblical process to help you actually discern. Now, I'm going to tell you something. Locusts you don't see locusts flying with bees, do you? Do you see locusts flying with wasps? Watch this. Because when you understand who you called to be, you also understand who you called to be with. Somebody, please put some fire in that chat. Put that on IG or something and at me so I can get that to my team. We're gonna put that on social media. That's not even in my notes. That's hot off the press. I forgot what I just said. Somebody put it in the chat too, so I can. Yes. When you are not clear on who you're called to be, you will not be clear on who you're supposed to be with. That's relational intelligence. And shameless plug. We're releasing the Relational Intelligence Podcast in 2022. Who's ready for that? We're going to help you get better in relationship. We're going to use a podcast to help you get better in relationships, in life and in business. In life and in your leadership. All right, here's number 4. Are you getting something out of this? Here's number 4. A lizard can be caught with the hand, yet it is still found in king's palaces. Now, I know many of us don't love lizards. Me either. But let me ask you something. What's the strength of a lizard? There's a lesson we can learn from this little thing. The strength of a lizard is its ability to stick around. Boy, a lizard will be on the wall. A lizard will be on a roof. A lizard will be on a tree. The lizard has mastered the art of sticking around. Here's life skill number 4. This lesson we learn from little things. It's powerful. Life skills, we learn from little things. The lizard teaches us that we need to develop the skill of sticking around. I'm not talking about placing ourselves in dangerous situations that are toxic, unhelpful, and unhealthy. I'm not talking about putting ourselves in harm's way. But ladies and gentlemen, I am referring to us allowing inconvenience, enemies, and adversity to move us from places we need to be sticking around on. I am telling you, the scriptures are inundated with information that encourage us as individuals to utilize the strategy of outlasting some adversity. That's Bible there. That's wisdom. That the way you win when you're dealing with the winds of adversity, the way you win with some wins is through resilience. It is through making a conscious decision that one of us, the storm or me, is going to quit first, and it won't be me. There are some seasons and situations where we can do nothing but simply outlast it. That's a life skill. And I believe that God wants to give you, and he wants to give me, the grace to stick around. Woo! They put Jesus in the tomb, and he stayed there 3 days. But early Sunday morning, he got up. He said, because I'm sticking around. And there are some situations, some adversity that place you in a metaphorical tomb. And you didn't die, but your faith did. And you didn't die, but your joy did. And you didn't die, but your dream did. You didn't die, but maybe a relationship did. But I believe it's time for a resurrection. And we can say, I'm back. Because of lessons I learned from little things. These are life skills, guys. Life skills. And if we put these few practices into play in our life, we will be that much closer to reaching our potential, experiencing protection, and experiencing preservation. I pray that over you. If you receive it, put I receive in the chat. I pray the unlocking and the unleashing of your potential. I pray for your protection. As the hedge was around Job, may it be around you. And I pray for your preservation, that your life would be like Israel's shoes that did not wear out in the wilderness. That's my prayer for you as it relates to walking in the wisdom of God. I am telling you, it's a life skill. And you know what else is a skill? People don't talk about. I think generosity is a skill. This recognition that how I sow determines how certain things grow. How I sow determines that my investment determines my advancement. And each time we have this series of teachings, we give people an opportunity to say, hey, I value my own growth and transformation. I value what's happening in me way more than I value what's putting on me. I value how I feel about me more than the way I value others seeing me. I value the way God looks at me more than the way others look at me. I want the real thing, and I don't want to fake it with a facade. I value some of those things, but I value me and what God's doing in me more. And because I value me, Dr. Dharius, I value this. I value this teaching. And so I want to respond with generosity, with an offering that says, this is it for me. And there's some of you I know, and we're getting some of your messages where you're even trying to figure out what to do with the church right now. You're like in between churches, and right now this is your lifeline. And I will unapologetically encourage anyone, whether it was this ministry or another, sow into the field you're harvesting from. If you're harvesting from a field, sow into that field. And I'm going to tell you something. It sends a message to God. It says to God, I value so much how you are putting it on people's heart to do things that are actually changing my life. It's you saying, God, God, I see you in this. That when you put it on people's heart to do things like this, it's because you got me in mind. And you tell them, put another lesson together every week. And take more time and speak another time during the week. It's God, you're doing it because you got me in mind. And I value that. And God, you can trust me to always appreciate your investment that you make in me. When we give, it's saying, God, I will not allow you to make an investment in me and I not make an investment in myself. Thank you. Lord, I want to bless the thing that you're using to bless me so that it can expand and grow and bless other people. And we're believing God for that, for you. That Lord thirst on the screen. Thank you so much for giving. Whenever you're watching this, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, thank you so much for sowing into the field that you are harvesting from. And I can't wait to be back next week with another lesson from the book of Proverbs here in Wisdom University. Want to remind you, please do not miss this. If you're not a part of my text tribe, that number's coming on the screen right now. One more time. I just want to add value to people. Part of my purpose is to help you reach yours. Right? I teach people in my mentoring and coaching group how to develop what's called a personal calling statement. And mine is I want to help as many people possible change their lives through transformational churches, transformational content, and doing transformational coaching. So part of my metron, my net, is as many people as possible. And I'm going to do everything I can to help them by many different means. And one of that is the text list, man. I love sending inspirational quotes that I'm getting. Sometimes I'm in masterminds, and sometimes my business mentors are dropping gems, and I'll text some of these gems out to people on my list, or sometimes I get thoughts downloaded from the Holy Spirit, and I'll share those, or quotes I read from books. And that's the power of partnership and relationship. And so, I want nothing more than that to just help you and add value to you. So I love to have you as a part of my text tribe. And many of you right now on the wait list for Daniels Den. And only the people that are on the wait list are going to be able to, we think that's the way it's going to be, are going to be able to get into it this next round that we're going to do. And man, you don't want to, a mentor gives you speed. They help you get further faster. And I'm excited about helping so many of you. All right, man, I love y'all. I mean it. I want you to have an incredible, incredible, incredible week. I'll see you next time. Take care.